Right, let's have a go at 15 then. We've got x squared minus 2 on top. There's a linear factor, there's a quadratic factor, and there's a linear factor. So it should be fairly straightforward, shouldn't it? Be a over the first, plus b, x plus c over the second, because it's a quadratic factor, the 3x squared minus 1, plus d over the linear factor that remains, the x plus 1. There we go. So that's what we've got then. Let's multiply by the denominator all the way through. And what does that give us? On the left we'll have x squared minus 2. And then essentially cross multiply is what we're doing. So it'll be a times these two times the x plus 1 plus the bx plus c. More than one term we need a bracket times these other two. Yeah? And then plus a d times the two that remain. Times that. That's it. There we are then. That's what we've got. Good. Right now, so we've got all this lot of bump here. So what's the easiest thing to do here? Well, we can put minus 1 for x in, can't we? And all of this top row will disappear. Not just leave d. So let's do that then. So let's put x equals minus 1. So it looks really easy to do. Minus 1 squared is 1. 1 minus 2 is minus 1. On the left. And then you've got this goes, and this goes, because it's times by noughts. You've got minus 1 squared is 1. 1 minus 1, no, 3 times 1. Well, let's write it down, shall we? Because we know it's non-zero. It'd be d times minus 1 times bracket 3 times minus 1 squared minus 1. Yeah? That will be 3. Take 1 is 2. 2 times minus 1 is minus 2d, yeah? So minus 1 equals minus 2 lots of d. That tells us that d, divide by minus 2, you get minus 1 over minus 2, which is a half. Agreed? So d is a half then. Good, that's minus 1 done. Now, what's the other, is there any other thing? Yeah. Well, we can put x as naught in. Yeah, because there's an x here and an x here, and all that will go, and we'll find out what a is, won't we? So let's do that then. It's like creating a constant. X is naught. So we put naught in. We get naught squared minus 2 is minus 2. And then you'll get what we get. Minus 2. Put naught in here, and that will be naught. So all of that is naught. All of this is naught. The only thing non-zero is this. This is 1. This is minus 1. Agreed? So 1 times minus 1 is minus 1. Minus a then. So a equals 2 then. Follows from that, doesn't it? Yeah? That's that done. That's a. Now, what next then? Let's have a look here. If x squared was a third, if we make x squared a third, all of that will go, and all of that will go, and we just have to work out this, which isn't very nice actually. Is it? And we'd have bx plus c as well. So that doesn't look too enticing, does it? But we've got cube terms, haven't we? A and d. Yeah, I reckon we'll get b if we do cubes. So let's do cube terms, shall we? So let's equate the cubes. So there's none on this side. And then from this pair of brackets, we'll just get the top line, the first line, that's the only x cubed term. So there's 3 a's of those. On the next bracket, the only x cubed will come from that product will be x squared times the bx, won't it? So you'll get a plus b. And then on the last line is 3x cubed times d, isn't it? So that would be 3d's. So we know a and d, so we'll get b now. So that implies then b equals minus 3a minus 3d, minus 3a minus 3d. Because what I've done is read from right to left, I've left the b there, and I've moved the 3a to minus 3a and the 3d over as well. So that will equal then, minus 3a is minus 6, minus 3 lots of a half is minus 3, over 2, minus 6 minus 3 over 2, which is minus 7.5, isn't it? Or 15 over 2 if we need to. So let's put 15 over 2 as well, shall we? So there's B. So the only thing we now need is C. Now, C. Lots of, where can we get C from then? We want to get C from here. How do we extract it? What value of X should we put in? It's going to be awkward, isn't it? Because this bracket here is x squared plus x. Agreed? When you expand this bracket here, this pair of brackets, and you got two brackets now, so you get a bx cubed, bx squared, a cx squared, and a cx. See the x? So which is easy? We got bx squared. You get a cx squared or a cx. So we could equate x squareds or x's, whichever we think is easier. And there's some x squareds here. Yeah, I think x is easier. X is easiest, actually. So let's equate powers of x. Right? On the left, there's no x's here. So on the right then, that would just give an x squared term. There's an x term, and that's a constant. So there's our x minus a lots of x, yeah? So that would be minus a on the first one. So there's our x term for that lot. The x term here would spring from the second line of the expansion of this bracket. It'd be minus d, wouldn't it? So I'll write that second, because I can see that easily. Now the x term from here, this is the bracket we've got for these two. So it's bx squared, bx cubed plus bx squared. They don't count. Then you get cx squared, that doesn't count, but you get a plus c, x plus c. So c equals a plus d, doesn't it, when you move these two over? So let's write that down. C equals a plus d. There we go. So what does that equal then? A is 2. D is a half. So C is 5 over 2. So I'm not going to write out the entire formula again, but A, B, C, and D. So, well, I can write it out above here if you like. So A will be 2. So let's scratch A, and we'll put 2 in, and D will put a half in. Okay, so A is 2, D is a half. Okay, now B is 15 over 2, and C is 5 over 2. So take the 2 out and put it under here, and it's 15 plus C was 5, wasn't it? 5 over 2. So let's scratch the B and the C, and we'll put in our numbers. So the B was 15. So it's 15 lots of x goes there, and x plus C, which is 5 over 2. Now we kept the 2 that was underneath common. We're taking it outside there because it's like a half, and we can drop it down to be here. There we go. There's the final answer then. We got 2 over x, 15x plus 5. We could have taken a 5 out there, couldn't we? Over 2, 3x squared minus 1 in a bracket, plus a half. Again, that 2 can come down to be with there, really. It'd be 1 there, wouldn't it, over x plus 1. So that's the final answer then for number 15. Good. Not too bad, as long as you just pause for thought and work your way through it in the easiest way possible, which we did. Okay, good. Let's go on to the next one.